Namaste students. We are going to start with our next very important topic. Trigonometric functions, trigonometry, the basics we've already done in the previous videos. Now in class 10th, if you remember, we have done the trigonometric functions, you know that sine, cos, tan, cosecant, secant, cot, only for acute angles. That means I know the value of sine 0, I know the value of 30 degree, I know the value at 45, I know the value at 60, I know the value at 90 degree. It's a right angle. Alright. But now I told you the trigonometric scope is not up to those acute angles. We can find out trigonometric functions for any angle. So now how to find that? Alright. First the basic, which are the standard angles, we are going to deal with that. For that, what I have taken, this is a circle with radius 1 unit. Alright. If this is radius is 1 unit and the center is at the origin. So that means if I talk about this point 1, this radius is 1. So this point is A is 1, 0. As it is on x-axis, y coordinate would be 0. B would be 0, 1. C would be minus 1, 0. And D would be 0, minus 1. Clear? And now let P be any point on the circumference. And this arc AP is, let's subtend an angle of x radians at the center. I told you we'll be dealing with the angles in radians now. X radian at the center, we know that this is L is equals to r theta. What is r? The radius is 1 and angle is x. So arc is also x. Is this clear? Now if I talk about the trigonometry which we have done in our class 10th, I know that what is my cos x will be? In the right angle triangle OPM, I know that is base upon hypotenuse. Base is A and hypotenuse is 1. And what will be sin x perpendicular upon hypotenuse, that is B. I know that this OPM is a right angle triangle. So here from in this triangle by Pythagoras, what I'll get? By Pythagoras, I know that hypotenuse square, that is OP square, is equals to OM square plus PM square. Put the value of OP and PM. OM is A, PM is B, and this is 1. If I put the values of A and B, so cos square x plus sin square x is equals to 1. Remember this identity we did it? Alright. So this way we can get the identities. Alright. Now coming to the angles. Now when we talk about the angles, I know that one complete revaluation. If I start from, say, if I am talking about this OP is my arc and I come back at OP this again, this complete thing, that is equals to 2 pi. That means the one complete rotation it is 2 pi radians. Clear? Its complete rotation is 2 pi radians. And you know that this is not a new thing. These are 4 quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Is it clear? Then if I talk about angle AOB, if I talk about angle AOB, what is that? 90 degrees. And I told you, now you have to remember in radians, 90 degrees means pi by 2 radians. Pi by 2 radians. Pi by 2. I told you, when you are writing this pi by 2, no need to write radian. That is understood. That is pi by 2. That means simple language we karo. See, this was starting from 0. This is 90. 90 plus 90, this is 180. अब 180 को radians में क्या बोलते हैं? If I talk about angle AOC, that will be pi radians. If I talk about angle AOD, that is 3 pi by 2. 180 plus 90, that is 3 to 70. Is this clear? Alright, and if you see this, all the angles, now here, if we talk about this line, the vertical line, This is angle we started from 0. This is pi by 2. We got as pi, and this is 3 pi by 2, and I come back here, I get 2 pi here. Clear? The angles which are on the vertical line, the tip of the vertical line, these are the multiples of pi by 2, and the angles which are on the tip of horizontal line, these are the multiples of pi. The angles which are the multiples of pi, multiples of pi by 2 are called quadrant angles, quadrantal angles. Is it clear? Are called quadrantal angles. Clear to everyone? Alright, fine. So now what is my purpose? These are standard angles. अब इसके बीच में बहुत सारे angles हो सकते हैं. We are going to find out the values of t ratios, that means trigonometric functions, on these angles. On these angles. Is it clear? I'm going to find out the values of trigonometric functions on these angles. Let's see how do we find that. Acha, one thing. As we had write this cos square x plus sin square x is equals to 1, all the trigonometric, those three identities, remember in class 10th we did cos square x plus sin square x is equals to 1. Then secant square minus tan square x is equals to 1, and cosecant square x minus cot square x is equals to 1. All things can be derived from here. Now let's find the values. So that means quadrantal angles are these two. Multiples of pi by 2. Alright. Now let's find the values. I'll find the value of cos and sin. Rest we can derive from there only. Let's start with 0. Cos 0, and then I'll find out the correspondence sin 0. When it is 0, 0 is a degree. Fine. Now cos 0. And you know that the coordinates of A, B, C and D are A is 1, 0, B is 0, 1, C is minus 1, 0 and your D is 0, minus 1. Okay, now see this. See, I'm just driving one. Rest, you know the coordinates. Cos theta is B upon H. Alright, I know that B means if I get the value from here, it was A and H is 1 because we have taken the radius as 1 unit. We drive all these things from the circle with the radius 1 unit. Is this clear? Alright. Now A means the value of x, B means the value of y. Now A, what is A at this point? 0 degree means this line only. And at this point, what is the value of x? That is 1. And h is also 1. So 1 by 1 if I talk about cos 0 degree is 1. Now what is the value of b? Because sine is b upon 1. Value of b is 0. 0 by 1 would be 0. So now this standard वाले जो angles हैं इनको drive नहीं करना. You have to remember this. You have to learn it forever. So cos 0 is 1. Cos sin 0 is 0. Now coming to sin cos pi by 2. Cos pi by 2. Here, this is pi by 2's line. So what is A? 0. And 0 by 1 would be 0. Now coming to sin pi by 2. That is B upon H. B is 1 there. And this is 1 by 1 would be this. So cos pi by 2 is 0. Sin pi by 2 is 1. Coming to cos pi. Here. What is the value of A? Minus 1. So minus 1 upon 1. That is minus 1. Coming to sin pi, what is the value of B? That is 0. 0 by 1 would be 0. Coming to 3 pi by 2. Value of A is 0. 0 by 1 is 0. Sin 3 pi by 2. The value of B is minus 1. Minus 1 upon 1. Minus 1. Clear? Cos 2 pi. A. Again here, 1. 1 by 1 is 1. Sin 2 pi. 0. 0 by 1, 0. Clear? Now see, I'll tell you what, all the values, whatever the values you're going to find out, no, ये सभी यही revolve करेगी. There's a reason. See, if I start moving from here, एक circle complete, suppose P से start करते हैं. I go and come back again. अगला circle लूँगी, again I come back. Again I come back. Again I come back. That means the value of sine and cos, चाहे वो increase हो रहा है, decrease हो रहा है, it does not change because it's coming back again. It's coming back here again. It means your, if I, ये होगा ना, एक सर्कल कंप्लीट हुआ, 2 पाई यहाँ पर खत्म हो गया, एक सर्कल. Then I'm coming back to again to other circle, third circle. So that means if I need to find out this P, because all the angles we have found with respect to P, so 2 pi plus I have moved x more. I have moved x more. So that means if I say cos 2 pi और n मतलब कितने number of circles हम लोगों ने लिए हैं और उसमें x angle और add कर दूं, तो I come back to cos x only. There will not be any change because I come back to P point again. One circle complete हुआ और उसमें मैंने x angle add किया तो फिर P पे आ गए. अगला सर्कल फिर उसमें x angle add किया तो P पर आ गए. So always remember, very important result these two. This will be useful in finding the angles which will be our next topic. Alright, so cos 2n pi plus x is always equals to cos x, sin 2n pi plus x is equals to sin x. That means if I come back in the first quadrant, because first quadrant I am coming to the P point again and again and again, so it will be cos x and sin x only. Now the next very important thing, if you see this pattern, where is cos 0? Cos कहाँ 0 है? Vertical line के tips पे जो angle है pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2, cos is always 0 at this. हमारे पास standard चार angles हैं, 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi again at the same point. ठीक है? So cos हमेशा vertical line की tips पे 0 होता है. And vertical line पे angle कैसे हैं? Pi by 2, 3 pi by 2. अगला सर्कल स्टार्ट करोगे तो यहाँ आ जाएगा 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, 9 pi by 2, 11 pi by 2. That means pi by 2 के साथ there is a odd multiple. That means in general, cos will be always 0 at odd multiple of pi by 2. Cos will always be 0 at odd multiple of pi by 2, where n belongs to any integer. Positive भी हो सकता है, ये तो हमने एंटी क्लॉकवाइज लिए, so that's why positive. अगर क्लॉकवाइज जाएगा तो सेम चीज नेगेटिव में आ जाएगी. So where n belongs to integer. In general, this is very important result. Cos is always 0 at odd multiples. Odd multiple, odd numbers कैसे लिखते हैं? 2n plus 1, odd multiples of pi by 2. Is it clear? Similarly, if you see your sine, sine is 0 at 0, sine is 0 at pi, sine is 0 at 2 pi. That means sine is always 0 when it has pi with it. That means all but pi, 2 pi, फिर आ जाएगा 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi. That means in general, sine is always 0 at multiples of pi. कोई भी multiple of pi आएगा, sine will always give you the value 0. So simple in layman language, the sine is 0 at the tips of horizontal lines and the cos is 0 on the tips of vertical lines. Is it clear? By this I think we can derive all. If I want to write tan here, what is tan? Sine upon cos, 0 by 1, 0. What is tan pi by 2? 1 by 0, not defined, that means infinity. What is tan pi? 0 by minus 1, that is 0. What is tan 3 pi by 2? Minus 1 by 0, infinity. What is tan 2 pi? That will be 0 by 1, 0. Is this clear? Alright? Clear everyone? Or I said not defined, minus infinity, we will be doing the concept after this. Clear? So that means if I have got the value of cos, sin, tan, I know the reciprocal of cos is secant, I kind of find the value. Reciprocal of sine is cosecant, that also I can find the value. And the reciprocal of tan is cot, that also we can find out the value. I hope it's clear to everyone. This is the trigonometric functions for the standard angles, which are like 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. Very, very important concept. I hope it's clear to everyone. Namaste students. In our previous video of trigonometric functions, what did we do? We found the values of trigonometric functions on the angles like 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. Fine. Now, as I told you in class 10th, we were limited to first quadrant only. Like we found the values only for acute angles. Now we have gone beyond that. Similarly, in like complete circle, there are 4 quarters. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So as the signs of trigonometric ratios or functions. Fine. In class 10th, we did first quadrant. So all trigonometric functions, what we were writing, those were all positive. So how we come to know which trigonometric function is positive or negative in which quadrant, that's what our topic is. Clear? Like if I talk about the same thing I have taken a circle with radius 1 unit, drawn a perpendicular. So this is A, this is B, and then we have found it. Clear? Now if I talk about the first quadrant, if I talk about the first quadrant, so now I'll draw it here also. I'm talking about first quarter. Clear? Now in first quarter I write I write for 3 trigonometric ratios which are main and 3 are the reciprocal. Definitely whatever will be the behavior of sine, the same behavior will be of cosecant. Clear? In the terms of sine. Now if I talk about sine x. Sine x is P upon H. What is P? Positive B, because it's the first quadrant. Here it will be B and H is 1. So my sine is coming to be positive. So sine is positive in the first quadrant. Is it clear? Because B is positive, B by 1 is going to be positive. Now if I talk about cos B upon H, what is the value of B? Positive A. So it's A upon 1, that is also positive. Clear? Then I talk about tan. What is tan? Tan is P upon H, P upon B. What is P? Positive B, and A is positive A, so it's also positive. That means in first quadrant, sine, cos, tan, all 3 are positive. If these 3 are positive, cosecant is also positive, secant is also positive, and cot is also positive. That means in the first quadrant, all t functions are positive. Alright? Clear, children? Let's talk about the second quadrant now. Second quadrant. Now second quadrant, I am bringing this point P here. This is my 1 unit. It comes down here. Fine, this is 1. This is A. This is going to be minus A because the negative direction. This is a positive B. This is also B. Now talk about sine x. Now this angle has come here. Here, sine x or whatever is the angle here. I am talking about that. Now the sine, what will happen? So 2 quadrants I will do, rest you will be doing if I talk about the angles. Now in the second quadrant, whatever is the angle, suppose the angle is here theta, that is like whatever you want to take. Say if I take theta here, or you want to carry on with x, that's your choice. Alright, so in the first quadrant, this all were positive. If I talk about sine, what is sine? P upon H, so B upon 1, positive B and 1, that's positive. Okay? Let's take all angles same. Now I'll talk about x. Cos is what? B upon h. What is B? Base. Base is minus a. Minus a upon 1. That means negative. If I talk about tan, tan is P upon B. What is P? B. And base is minus 1, minus a. So that is also negative. So if I see in the second quadrant, sine is positive. Cos and tan both are negative. If sine is positive, तो cosecant भी positive होगा. बाकी चारों के चारों are negative. That means in the second quadrant, only sine and cosecant are positive. Rest all are negative. Understood, children? The same way, if I come to the third quadrant, if I take this as P, this is a perpendicular dropped. This is minus a, and this is a negative direction of x-axis also. Clear? So second quadrant mein same way you will be doing that. Now if I talk about sine, sine is minus the b upon h, negative. Cos is minus a upon h, that is also negative. Tan is minus b upon minus a, minus minus cancel, positive. That means in the third quadrant, tan and its reciprocal cot are positive, rest all are negative. And same way, if I talk about the fourth quadrant, if I go here, this is positive direction of x-axis but negative direction of y-axis. So cos will be a upon 1, positive. Sine will be minus b upon 1, negative. Tan will be minus b upon a, negative. That means in the fourth quadrant, only cos and its reciprocal secant are positive, rest all are negative. Understood? That means what does this table in this your diagram indicate? For the acute angles, for the first quadrant, that's why you remember in the previous one we wrote 2n pi plus x is equals to cos mein hai to cos answer, sine mein hai to sine answer, because we come back to the first quadrant, and first quadrant all the t ratios are positive. In the first quadrant all t ratios are positive. लेकिन अगर आप पाई बाय 2 से लेकर पाई तक का किसी टी रेशियो की वैल्यू निकाल रहे हो तो सिर्फ सेकंड क्वाड्रेंट में साइन और कोसेकेंट पॉजिटिव आएंगे, रेस्ट एवरीथिंग वुड बी नेगेटिव. If in the third quadrant tan and cot are positive, rest everything is negative, and in the fourth quadrant cos and secant are positive, rest all are negative. I hope it's clear to everyone. Alright, fine. Suppose how do we need to solve it, that I'll tell you. Understood? Clear this concept to everyone? Let's pick a few examples related to this. And for this, there's one more saying when I say all positive and this, after school to college. After all to, just to learn this, after A stands for all positive, S stands for sine and its reciprocal cosecant positive, T stands for tan and its reciprocal positive, C stands for cos and secant positive. Alright, clear? Let's pick up one. Like suppose if cos x is minus 3 by 5 and this x lies in third quadrant, find the values of other 5 trigonometric functions. I need to find the value of other 5 trigonometric functions. First of all, the identity which we have, from there you find out the value of sine. I know that sine square x is equals to 1 minus cos square x. So 1 minus 9 by 25. So sine x is equals to, sine square is 16 by 25. So sine x is equals to plus minus 4 by 5. I hope this you know. Whenever the square goes that side, it becomes plus minus. But अब क्या करना है, हमने देखना है x lies in the third quadrant. अब x third quadrant में है, x belongs to third quadrant, and third quadrant में sin क्या होता है? What is sin? Sin is negative. Sin is negative. So which answer I'll be picking up? Minus 4 by 5. All right, clear? And which also implies that if I talk about cosecant, cosecant is a reciprocal and then negative 2. So minus 5 by 4. Alright. and from here, from the cos, I can get one more value, as we know that its reciprocal is also going to be negative. Now what are left? Tan and cot. How do we find tan? Tan is sine upon cos. Is it clear? And I know that in third quadrant, sine is minus 4 by, I'll put the value sine x upon cos x. Minus 4 by 5 and cos is minus 3 by 5. 5 and 5 cancel. So 4 by 3. As it is, I know that as it is, tan is positive in the third quadrant. So positive ही आ गया. And cot 3 by 4. I hope it's clear to everyone. So whenever you have to find out the values and the angle is specified the quadrant, so you have to remember that after school to college, first quadrant all positive, second sine and cosecant positive, third tan and cot positive, and in the fourth quadrant cos and secant positive. Is this clear to everyone? Alright, let's pick up one more example so that the things are clear. Say, what is given to me? Cot x is minus 5 by 12. X lies in second quadrant, find the values of other t ratios. If cot is minus 5 by 12 and the second quadrant, so tan is clearly indicated from here. Clear? Now I can find out चाहे इसकी identity use करो या उसकी, that's your choice. If I suppose I use tan, so I know that secant square x is 1 plus tan square. So 1 plus 144 by 25, it becomes 169 by 25. So secant x is plus minus 13 by 5. Now as x belongs to which quadrant they said? Second quadrant. Second quadrant, in second quadrant secant is what? Negative. If this is negative, so I get cos from here. That will also be negative. Is this clear? So I got cos, I have tan, so I can find out sine from here. ऐसे निकाल लेते हैं. We know the formula. We know that tan x is sine upon cos. So sine x is tan x into cos x. Put the value. By 13, and we know that in second quadrant sine is always positive, and we got the positive value. If I got sine, so what will be cosecant? 13 by 12. I hope it's clear to everyone. No doubt about it. Clear? So this is how we are going to find out the values of other trigonometric functions.